Hello, and welcome to the gallery. Thank you for joining me here to rest for a moment. Let's take a look at this drama treasure I've got to share with you all. Wrap your hands around a beloved beverage, if that seems good to you, and let's appreciate. This is a 2019 drama series from Taiwan called Yong Jiu Grocery Store. I will do my best to review this drama, but I've got to be honest and confess with you all that part of me is thinking to myself, where do I even begin in order to do justice to this work of art? When I first watched this 10-episode drama, I thought it was wonderful. A couple months ago, I rewatched it, this time with my husband too, and I came to the same conclusion all over again. I didn't place this one in the gallery right away though, because I needed to let it percolate in my mind a bit and to just sit with it. I think my response is fitting because this is a drama about community, people showing up for each other, being there for each other, actively and also sometimes just quietly present, side by side, over days, months, seasons, and years. Is this resonating with anyone else here in the gallery? Well, on with my analysis. Here we go. Jiu. This is an underrated, lesser-known shining gem of the drama universe. It is an all-around, well-told story. First, the cinematography is part of the lovely storytelling in this drama. It's very thoughtfully and artistically done. There are many beautifully shot and contemplative scenes of the countryside of Taiwan that stand in marked contrast to the bustling city life of Taipei, the capital of Taiwan. The use of light and also the perspective of shots from interiors to exteriors convey a natural, warm, homey atmosphere. Consider this series of perspectives from our male lead, Junlong's visit to Uncle Soy Sauce. He is the community member who handcrafts soy sauce all the way from fermentation to brewing. Secondly, this drama is well written. It has a realistic, everyday, slice of life method of storytelling where each episode gives us both present-day events and also parts of the backstories on certain characters. This really appealed to me as it allowed me to feel like I was slowly getting to know these characters, their environment, the joys and the sorrows of a portion of their individual and communal life journey. It helped me to enter into their community life. Their interactions and conversations are overall so natural and realistic. I was left feeling curious, wanting to know more about them, like in a good friendship. Yet, the ending was satisfying enough. I felt like I often do when I close a good book after finishing that last page. Wanting the story to go on, the life of the characters to continue, but also content and grateful for what I had been given. Although this drama deals with some really heavy topics at times, there is also much life-giving laughter and joy presented too in this drama. This is all true to life as we know it, right? The theme quote I've chosen for my analysis is, "No matter how late, the light will always be on." These words are spoken in the context of a backstory conversation between the young future grandparents of Junlong, our male lead. These words represent their vision for their community grocery store that they hope to someday operate together. Later on in the drama, we get a conversation between grandfather and the young boy, Junlong, about the name of the grocery store, Yong Jiu. Yong meaning to use, and Jiu, the number 9, but sounding also like the word meaning for a long time. Little Junlong wants to know, why use the numeral 9 in the name when 10 would be better? Grandpa explains, Our store has 9 out of the 10 necessities that people need in their daily life. Why not 10? Junlong asks. 10 out of 10 would mean we're perfect, but with 9 out of 10, it's better. And the word for 9 also sounds like the word for forever, so we can be open forever. This is the story of a faithful, flawed community, a core group of imperfect people, and at the center, the grocery store and Grandpa and Junlong who run the store. The grocery store lamp is symbolic of their desire to be there for each other, to be lights for each other, while knowing that they're all going to do this imperfectly. So I'm titling this analysis, Lights for Each Other, a 9 out of 10 community. Now it's time for images from the drama that illustrate this theme of being lights for one another in a faithful yet flawed community. I must begin with the relationship that is at the center of the drama and at the real heart of the grocery store. This is the core family relationship between grandfather and grandson. These two are similar in so many ways. Both of them are core connecting points in the web of relationships in the community. Both of them are generous with their time and presence, so patient and willing to just be there for people. Both are quietly and carefully observant of others, which helps them to then act in ways that serve the needs of others. Here's Grandpa, willing to read letters and write responses for people in his community to be able to correspond with their loved ones. The love of Junlong for his grandfather was one of the best things about this drama for me, and it is shown many times in so many lovely ways, like the way he helps his grandfather shave and groom himself, the way he listens to Grandpa's stories and advice, and when they are just sitting together holding hands. Both are peacemakers. Here's Junlong working with his estranged best friend in order to repair their relationship, and here he is again, this time extending a peace offering to our prickly female lead, Chaojun, telling her so simply, "I'm sorry for the words I said earlier that made you uncomfortable." Isn't this a model of decent, mannerly human interaction when we've wronged someone? Both Junlong and Grandpa value essential things and are creators of home. Grandpa, after the difficult things he's been through, a painful separation and being a single father, then losing that son, looks at his grandson and says, "It was worth it." At age 30, Junlong leaves his successful career in Taipei working for a construction company, on track to become the youngest manager in the company's history, to return to his hometown, his grandfather, and to run the grocery store that they're all connected to. It takes a near drowning experience to make Junlong realize what he really wants. Both grandfather and grandson are comforters. Their shared history has forced them to live knowingly alongside death, and here is young Junlong wrapping his arms around his grandfather to comfort him with the same comfort he's received from his grandpa. Next is a series of images of the people revolving around the grocery store. A community of little lights like fireflies who proclaim the grocery store belongs to all of us. They gather in each other's homes around tables and eat together, and they make room for one more at the table when a struggling, wayward friend awkwardly shows up, and they welcome him back. They wait and patiently endure in the rain with each other, and they encourage each other to come back outside after some necessary time alone. The message is, "Hey, you are important to us. We need you." And they know how to play together. Junlong, at one point in the drama, calls this community an intimate family. Sometimes that makes things uncomfortable and humbling, like when the elders tell Junlong they've changed his diapers and they've seen him running around half naked as a kid. Or, as in the case of our female lead, Chaojun, when you've been ostracized since you were a little kid and treated like an outsider by the community and have a difficult time fitting into it as an adult, too. That brings us to the last series of images, the light that is the growing romantic love between Junlong and Chaojun. Our female lead is a complex character with a heartbreaking story. She's so closed off and prickly that she's earned herself the nickname Stinky-Faced Venus. But her first smile in a long, long while is finally elicited by Junlong, who looks beyond her hard exterior and patiently waits for her. He offers her his presence and is a source of comfort to her when she's really having a hard time, and he isn't scared off when she says, "I often think if I could disappear, how great that would be." Instead, he listens, and later on, after they've been cooking meals together for the community, he turns things around and says words so life-giving and necessary to Chaojun, the outcast. He says, "Thank you for treating us as one of your own. As long as you're willing, those lovely people and I will always be here waiting for you at any time." It's fitting that we get our happy ending moment on a bench outside the grocery store, since this is the place where the two of them have so often met to sit side by side. And about that fairy tale story, the two of them tell the neighborhood school kids on a field trip to the grocery store. The one about the dragon and the princess. I did not understand at first why Junlong would call himself the dragon. I mean, he just doesn't seem to fit the fairy tale dragon profile. Then I looked up the name Junlong and learned that part of his name means dragon. And think back to the beginning of the drama when, in his construction company job, he was sort of devouring properties and preying upon the elderly homeowner and amassing some dragon wealth. But he was solitary and lonely. So it's good to consider how Junlong is also drawn to the light that is Chaojun. It's time for the third and final part of my analysis, the theme music. Although I enjoy the soundtrack for this drama and think it fits the mood of the whole thing really well, I've chosen different music altogether that is very specific to my theme. In this analysis, as may be fitting, I have for you not one, but a little community, a trio of shining songs. Called Home is a song on the album Meet Me at the Edge of the World, and it's by a favorite band of mine since my college days, Over the Rhine. Here are a few of the lyrics. Just shy of breaking down, there's a bend in the road that I have found, called home. Take a left of loneliness, there's a place to find forgiveness, called home, where evening shadows come to fall on the awful and the beautiful, every wound you feel that needs to heal. The stories, they get passed around, the laughter, it gets handed down, read it in the lines around a smile. All My Favorite People is a song from a different Over the Rhine album, The Long Surrender. Listen to just a few lines. All my favorite people are broken. Believe me, I ought to know. All my friends are part saint and part sinner. We lean on each other, try to rise above. We are not afraid to admit we're all still beginners. We're all late bloomers when it comes to love. Last of all, the song Compassion is from the album Down Where the Spirit Meets the Bone. Lucinda Williams based this song on a poem written by her poet father. Here's just a bit of this profound song. Have compassion for everyone you meet, even if they don't want it. What seems conceit is always a sign. You do not know what wars are going on down there where the spirit meets the bone. I've provided links to all 3 of these songs down below in the description so you can have a listen and let their light just soak in. That's all I have for this trip to the gallery. Thank you so much for sitting with me on the bench for a moment of contemplation. As we continue on our way, let's do our best to stay awake to gather the beautiful.